Welcome to the Southern U Podcast, brought to you by Darton Archery on the OKest Podcast Network, with your co-host, Matt Brock, Jeremy Ferguson, and Taylor McMurtry. If you're looking for all things land-related in the Southeast, you came to the right place. Whether it's real estate, habitat, wildlife, or just being outdoors, this is the place for you. Welcome to the Southern U. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Southern U Podcast, where we talk all things land related in the South. We talk timber and ag and hunting and real estate and whatever else we can think of that is related to land. To my immediate left, we got DJ Fergie Ferg. So, what's going on there, Jeremy? What all have we gotten ourselves into already today?
Today?
Yeah.
No, we got hot and sweaty this morning. Out doing a little bit of drone work and taking some pictures of a new listing in Arab, Alabama.
That's right.
Got a rarity that's about to come online. Got pasture land in Marshall County.
Yeah, that is highly sought after around here.
I don't expect it to last long.
It probably won't. The right person will see that, and I mean, who knows? Somebody hears this, it may not even make it to market.
That's right.
Who knows? We also have Uncle Corey, a.k.a. Cody Green, over here. Once again, I mean, he's just getting to be a regular occurrence on the show.
Uncle Cool Ray.
Yeah.
Cool Ray.
I'm just hanging around.
Yeah, he's Carl Ray's cousin, the Cool Ray.
Oh, no.
It's raining. I ain't got nothing going on, guys.
There you go. Yeah, it's so funny. It's two extremes in Alabama. You either have all the rain or you have none of the rain.
None of the rain.
Mm-hmm. And right now, we got it all.
We got it all. That's for sure.
Have you seen the rain? Seen that meme?
Tried to mow my yard yesterday, and it's so, the grass is so bad. I was like, I have to mow it. I've got to. And my mower overheated trying to mow the yard because the grass is so bad.
Yeah, I mowed mine Saturday, and
I was going to say sunk.
I think it took me 6.5 hours.
Gosh.
Had to mow it twice.
Yep.
Dang, girl. Should have called me. I'd have brought the little bush hoggers.
Well, I should have thrown the bush hog on, but I mowed it. I top mowed it, knocked the tops out, and I let it dry for about an hour or so while I weed. It's more than an hour because it took longer than that to weed eat. But anyway, weed eated around all the equipment and everything, and got back on the mower and tried her again.
Yep.
Got her back looking like somebody lives there.
Yep.
So that's always good.
No doubt.
It's been rough.
You all right over there?
Yeah. Well,
Snorting coke over there.
I just I don't know.
About like
I think
Brock,
I took
you
my-
and I.
I think I took my allergy medicine today. I don't know. They're one of the 5 that. It's like,
Yep. Just forget which ones you take.
yeah. We could have talked tick-borne illnesses.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. I take Cody out one time to learn him a little bit on marking some timber, considering that's not something that's in his wheelhouse. And come out the woods, and he's calling the next day, I'm tick. I got bit by tick.
Oh, we ain't got back to the truck, and Jeremy's over there slapping, screaming. And
I did.
I got a tick off my neck.
Yeah,
That's just
big old tick right there right on my beard line.
Which,
Of course, I felt him bite, so he didn't get to hang on long.
See, that's what I don't understand about people that feel ticks bite. If I don't get them off in the shower, I just find them 2-3 days later. So
I don't know what it is. I even the little bitty tiny seed ticks, I feel them bite like almost immediately.
He's sensitive.
Yeah, I am. I'm like Brock, a sensitive
My
little
skin's
flower.
like leather. Until he's dug in about a foot and done gave me 4 or 5 diseases, I don't know he's there.
Yeah.
Gosh, y'all. Ticks are gross.
They're bad.
Tell me about it.
God, they're disgusting.
But yeah, I mean,
I don't, knock on wood, I don't know how I haven't ended up as a statistic with one of the illnesses. But
well, that's what we were talking
not
about
yet.
the other night. I mean, thousands.
It'll happen.
We've pulled off of
Yeah,
us.
people probably think we're exaggerating the number of
No.
ticks. It's bad.
I mean, it sounds gross, but no.
When I was with Cetera and when I was with DCNR, both entities required you, or you were supposed to keep up with, if you were bitten by a tick, or you pulled them off of you, and being in the woods, cruising timber, marking timber, whatever, it just got to be overwhelming when you keep up with it. Literally the hundreds over the course of the year that would be on you, and probably in the hundreds that actually bite you and get embedded, for at least a short period of time. Introduce this story and I'll give you a tick story, or introduce this episode and I'll give you a tick story.
There you go. Yeah. So today we decided we would just take a little break. You guys know that we typically do a lot of educational, talking about land-related things and trying to share knowledge, trying to share things that might be helpful, if that's managing wildlife or if that's, making a wise investment choice if you're going to buy a property or whatever. We're just trying to share knowledge as much as we possibly can. And today we are kind of deviating a little bit from that.
Gonna take a break.
Yep, it's just going to be story time. What I mean by that is we're just going to tell some hunting stories, maybe deer, turkey, quail, whatever, and we might just share some general stories from the field.
Yep.
Just be wildlife related or
We're about
whatever.
to talk tick stories.
Yeah, talking all kinds of stuff. Hopefully there will be some
It could
humor
be
mixed in.
educational.
Yeah, I can tell you what not to do, maybe.
That's the truth.
Could be enlightening.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll learn a couple lessons from me for sure.
And before we jump in there, I know we got to do a property highlight too, but
Yep.
I did want to give a quick shout out to the guys at Darton, Randy, Jason. Guys are really good to us, and we really, really appreciate that they have been with us from the get-go, from the start of this thing, and it's something that we're really proud of, and I talk about often with people that ask. Every sponsor that we have from the beginning, we still have, and we've been pretty selective about who we want to work with and those sort of things. As the podcast has kind of grown a little bit over the years, we've been approached by not like tons and tons of people, but a few brands, and so sometimes those brands don't really line up with what
That's right.
we are trying to do here, and that's okay. Like, we really appreciate people reaching out and those sort of things, but the people that we have chosen to work with, just proud to say that we're still with them, and they're still with us today, and that's kind of our, I want to say claim to fame, but it's just
Nah, we definitely don't have any
no,
fame.
not that, but it's just but I do take a lot of sense of pride in knowing that we kind of sold a few of these companies on a vision of what could be and what we thought we could do. There was a need that we felt like we could kind of help provide solutions for, and they believed in us, and that goes for all. I mean, Tethered, Vitalize. I mean, First South, Darton. I mean, it's just really cool. And of course now Tut, is part of that too.
Yep.
And it all just kind of goes hand in hand. And so anyway, just wanted to give you guys a shout out, and certainly with Darton, because they take care of us every year, and they just continue to kind of push the boundary of features and like built-in tunability of a bow, where you're not having to stick it in a press all the time, and you're not having to necessarily. I love archery pro shops. I'm not telling you not to support them. You should.
Absolutely.
But if you encounter something that you aren't comfortable with, take it to a pro shop. But for the most part, there's a lot of this stuff that you can do yourself. Just because of the tunability that they've put in their technology and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Look, this isn't a hunting podcast, so we don't talk it every day. But I am giving recommendations on somebody at least trying out Darton at least once a week.
Yep, I agree.
I have been impressed with the quality of products that they put out. The shootability of their bow, especially these newer bows, have been, really unbelievable.
Yeah.
I was you know this, I was a Bowtech guy from long ago, and look, they had great shooting bows and easily tunable bows, and still like their stuff, but Darton has caught and probably, if not surpassed, the tunability and the ease of that, and then the shootability of their bows. Obviously, I missed last year with shoulder surgery, so didn't get to bow hunt any, but I am looking forward to tickling those strings.
That's right. It's going to be like Michael Jordan. I'm back.
Yep.
Coming back from the shoulder injury and surgery and stuff. But yeah, I just echo that too. I think Darton is in a better place right now than they ever have been, and that's saying a lot because they've been around longer than anybody has.
Yeah.
But I just think that Randy and his team of engineers that he's got involved with what's going on there, they are just continuing to add features, like I said, to make that arrow fly straight. That is the whole point of the game. If you can't get the thing to fly, then you're gonna have problems with everything else. Nothing else really else matters. So they have figured out a way to add some tuning features that make that process much more streamlined and more precise too. You need to be correct spine, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Needs to make sense, but as long as it's within the chart of that draw length and poundage that you're shooting, you pretty well shoot whatever setup you want, and it's a lot of fun to tinker with that stuff. A lot of people don't like doing that. I love it. I love just messing with it.
It's like I tell everybody when they're talking about getting into archery hunting or shooting in general. Just go shoot a bunch.
That's right. Go shoot them all.
Find out which one you like. It sounds like we're shilling here for Darton, and we kind of are.
Sure.
But go shoot a bunch of different bows. We recommend Darton being in that lineup that you try. But just figure out what works best for you. Every bow isn't going to fit everybody the same. So
no, and like I said, there will be inevitably there's going to be people that like another brand better or whatever. Like, just go shoot them.
More power
man.
to you.
And by the way, we don't care. Like, go. The important thing is to get one
and shoot
and get out in the woods. Go do it. You know what I mean? And don't care what brand it is. So, anyways, just wanted to throw them a little shout out there. And I don't know, you got anything, Cody? Or no?
Nah, he's a crossbow hunter, so he don't have.
Yeah, I just those new pneumatic gun bows. That's what I use. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I don't, by the way.
No, he shoots that one that starts with an M.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'll shoot whatever I can get.
Right.
And I've been fortunate through the years to have good support and friends that I generally didn't pay for bow for a long time. So, and then that thing I got
good place to be in.
Yeah, getting a little bit old, but if I find something that works, I have a hard time.
I'm the same way.
If everybody that if Matthews helium got stole out of my truck. Gosh, I don't know what year, but I'd still be shooting that bow. That was my favorite bow I've ever owned.
I've still got one of my old bows, and I'll never get rid of it.
Oh,
I'll crack it out every now and then.
I
shoot
killed more deer with that helium than probably any of the other combined bows I've had. I would assume.
Oh yeah,
yeah, we're gonna talk about some bow hunting here in a little bit.
That's right. Yeah. We're gonna talk about them.
I'm getting back into the little sister. Shooting the old recurve.
Nah, not me.
I would love to do it.
You gotta have shoulders to do it.
I'd love to do it. Just be like, okay, I did it. I don't know that I could just put down my compound and only.
No, I ain't putting it down. Don't like about that, but it's something fun to do every once in a while.
More power to you. You're a better man than me if that's what you hunt with exclusively. I just never have gotten excited about a recurve. Just never have. I've shot one, and look, I know you can learn techniques to get by all this stuff, but I'm cross-eye dominant, so left-eye dominant, right-handed. Makes it a little more difficult. Look, your brain, if you train it enough, you can do anything.
Sure.
Okay? But that's just one thing I'd never spent enough time to do, and not going to.
No, I'll say being in the shop for all those years with Alan, it has traditional archery in general has a way of humbling you. Like,
Absolutely.
you can pick a compound up and just absolutely knock the center out of an X at 20 yards or whatever, and you can take a recurve at 15 yards and
not hit the wall.
Like, and the other thing is, you can kind of sort of practice for a while and get it figured out.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take that recurve and put it down for 2 weeks and then go pick it back up again, it's like starting completely over.
The guys that come and hunt with us in camp in Kansas, and we have, I would say on average, 2 recurve shooters a year.
Mm-hmm.
So one to three, you know, depends on tag situation, who draws, who don't. But those guys, they shoot every day, multiple times a day while they're in camp. They go hunt, they come back, they shoot a few.
Yep.
Before they go back to the woods, if they don't hunt all day, they shoot a few. And they talk about shooting a couple out of the stand, you know, pick out a leaf or two and shoot. So that it's not something you can just put down
muscle
and
memory
pick back
and
up.
repetition.
No, that's hard.
That's all it is.
Yeah, it's when you see somebody that actually pulls it off, like I'll never forget, kind of get into the stories or whatever, but there was a local place in North Alabama that was a archery shop, and they had a processor in the back and stuff like that, and a lot of guys would go hunt public land up there and then stop in, drop off their deer, and, you know, get whatever they needed. And opening day, I went in there just to hang out. I was just kind of trying to kill time until the afternoon hunt, and a guy had brought in, I mean, I don't speculate, I'd say maybe 110, maybe 115-inch 8-point, just, you know, a nice deer for around here, and killed it with a self-made longbow, and I was just like,
that's real deal.
like, wow, you know, it's just, you know, especially this was probably 2009 maybe. There wasn't a whole lot of people that I knew personally doing that, you know, so to see, like, no, this guy's local and he killed one with you know, that's pretty awesome.
That's like Justin Gondola, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Makes his
Shout out to
bows.
Gandhi.
Yeah, man. Hey, impressive fella. I got to give it to him.
Oh, he'll go Illinois public land and smash them.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, you gotta have time.
That you do.
That's all. That's the only. I mean, I would be way more into it if I had time. I mean, little brother, he's
same boat.
He don't have time, but yeah, he's good. He knows his stuff.
Well, Jeremy, you got a property you want to?
Yeah, I'm going to be selfish and highlight the one we just talked about.
Hey, there we go. That's a good one.
41-acre tract. I think it's 2403 Hogjaw Road, Arab, Alabama.
Hogjaw.
Yeah, Hogjaw.
That's right.
Primarily all pasture. I'd say I hadn't mapped it just yet. I think it's out of the 41.3 acres, it's going to be 38 acres of pasture land, fenced, power, water. It's got a 2-car garage with the upstairs that's finished out. You know, nice living quarters. Probably not going to be somebody's forever home, but
it's a slick bachelor pad.
yeah, but
it's awesome.
Beautiful home spots on it. 2 or 3 locations to build on. Got a little pond. Kind of tucked out of the way. It's rural living, but close to everything. I mean, you're 10 minutes from Arab and 25, maybe to 30 to Huntsville from right there. So, nice little spot.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, you really are. You're probably not 10 minutes from Arab, really.
Yeah.
You know, from the water tower right there, it'd probably take you 5 minutes.
Yeah,
maybe.
it's close.
It's close.
And list price on it's $512,250. So
There you go.
Reasonable price tag for pasture land with a residence on it in Marshall County, Alabama.
Yep. Now, don't buy it until I get done with the video. Okay, y'all,
Yeah,
y'all can buy it.
let him put the video out, so I have to pay him for the video first.
Yeah, I've had that happen though. I've had a realtor go, "Hey, I need this video shot. Can you get over here today?" Yeah, I sure can.
Didn't Bray have one that you were gonna shoot that ended up selling before it made it to market?
Yeah, Pisgah, I think.
Yeah,
it did. But I had another like local guy that did that a couple years ago.
You don't do business with other realtors.
No,
we don't talk about that.
And I was on my way back. I just wrapped up shooting and got in my car and was driving back to the office. And, hey, did you get over to that property yet? And I said, yeah, I'm leaving right now. Why? Well, it sold. What? So, anyways.
There you go.
Anyways, that being said, Jeremy, tell me a story, man.
All right, man. This one, since we started off talking about ticks, going to talk about tick story.
Ticks are gross.
I guess I was right out of college. No, I'm sorry. Let me back up. I was interning. So it was, I graduated in December, so I only had a semester left instead of a full year when I was at Auburn. So the spring prior to that, I was interning, spring, summer, and I had already been taught to cruise timber. So I was cruising and marking timber for the consultant I worked for over in Macon. And so we're out cruising timber, and he gets a guy that is thinking he wants to be in the forestry industry that goes to church with him. So, I mean, this kid, is 18, I guess, just finished school. And I think was going to a technical college first, and then going to go on and go to UGA and forest. I don't know if it was forest resource or what their degree was, but anyway, going to UGA. But anyway, I'm out there and I'm teaching him cruise timber, and we're going down through the woods, and we've got better part of a day behind us. It's nasty, and in Georgia in the summertime, humid, hot, so we're dripping wet. And I'm walking down through there, and I look, and my whole leg is just crawling, and I'm like, oh no. So got into seed ticks. So I mean, even early on, I mean, I was just an intern then, but I wore gaiters all the time. If I didn't have on gaiters, I was wearing snake boots, and I'd have my pants tucked in my snake boots. So I know relatively reasonably that the ticks are on the outside of my clothes at this point. The kid, and I can't remember his name, unfortunately, he's just out wearing boots, and his pants legs are untucked. Now, we sprayed down, with insect repellent and whatnot. But both of our pants are just moving. I mean, there's literally hundreds or thousands of little seed ticks on us. And I said, look, we're done. I said, go to the truck. And I said, we'll grab the permanent out. I said, it'll kill what's on the outside. So we spray him off, and as other foresters will do, biologists, folks that work in the woods, we start shedding clothes. And so we're driving to the house. I think both of us are sitting in the truck in boxers, and that's it. Boxers and shoes of some kind that we threw on. And so we get back to the office, and I say, look, man, go home, wash, make sure. I said, check yourself, every nook and cranny. I said, because you're going to have these somewhere
where the sun don't shine.
Yes, sir. And so I get home, I'm cleaned up, and I'm pretty good, with me having my gaiters on, or I don't remember if, I was tucked or what, but just what I do. I didn't have that many on me, especially not my legs. I found a few on my arms and stuff like that. But that evening, this guy calls, and he said, you don't have any idea what I'm doing right now. You won't believe it. I said, yeah, you're probably right. I said, I'm a little calm in my older age, as I'm graduating college. I've had a big time in college, and I'm acting pretty calm. But I was thinking he was headed out partying, No. And he said, no. He said, I am sitting on the bed and my mama is picking ticks off the bottom of my balls. And I said, yeah, I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
But I can picture it. I can picture him two-handing the old satchel and pulling it up, and Mama picking ticks off. Not a hard thing to picture.
I hate to admit it, but
Been there? Yeah.
done that.
So, but anyway, I don't think much of it. I'm like, yeah, well, just make sure you get them and shower good, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, all's good. Fast forward to the next day, he don't come to work. I didn't think a whole lot about it. He just scheduled what he was doing with Todd, the owner then. And but I called Todd later on. I said, hey, man, you heard from so-and-so? He's like, no, let me see. He said he didn't call and say he wasn't coming. So Todd reached out and got his mama, and they were at the hospital. And he had gotten sick that morning. And long story short, dude had contracted encephalitis, and he died on the table 3 times. He was resuscitated 3 times from ticks and encephalitis. It just apparently when they got him there, he still had numerous ticks. Embedded, and it caused obviously allergic reaction and encephalitis, anything to play with.
No.
But I saw him, it was weeks later, and, we was talking, asking, how he's doing, all that kind of stuff. But he, for some reason, he decided not to stay in the forestry industry.
Yeah, I can't imagine why.
So I think I'll work in the office.
But yeah, that's my tick story, because I, knock on wood, thank the good Lord that I've had a blue million on me. But other than just some minor infections from the bite that steroids take care of, I've never had any long-lasting repercussions from a tick bite.
Oh, I've not had any personally, any issues, but I will never forget me and a couple of my buddies from the Birmingham area were up in Kentucky. We were going to hunt opening weekend at Big Rivers.
Big River.
Yeah, and so we rent a little cabin. I don't know what the place is called, but it's got a few that you can rent there. We rent one.
Stayed there.
Yep, stayed there, and some guys next to us, in the cabin next to us, just happened to be from I think it was Blount County, Alabama. So, anyways, we just we're talking to them, whatever. Hey guys, how's it
Probably
going?
Ben.
How's it going? Whatever. And anyway, so we would come back in from hunting and talk back and forth, whatever. Well, we leave to hunt one morning, and when we come back, we see them come in. And now I know just from being up into that part of the world, especially that time of year, my clothing is like so saturated with permethrin, and I've let it dry and all that kind of stuff. But if they're gonna get me, they're gonna have to go through a whole lot of chemical to get on me, So when they come back in, I said, "Hey, did you guys have any luck?" No, I didn't really see much. Whatever. My ankles are killing me. I said, well, what is it? And he said, man, I got those turkey mites, sea ticks. And he pulled his pants leg up.
Turkey mites.
And it looked like blisters, like burns or something like that, just a ring around right above his ankle. And we were all like, whoa, man, are you okay? Like, oh yeah, this itches like crazy, whatever. Well, the next day, we don't see them. Mm-hmm. They're just not there. Did they leave? They didn't say they were leaving. Whatever. Yes. And so he had to go to the ER or a doc in the box, something, while they were there and get some stuff for it. And when he came back, we were like, hey, did you, just out of curiosity, because these guys were older than us.
Yeah.
And I was like, just out of curiosity, did you spray anything? Oh, man, I don't want the bug spray. I don't want deer to smell you, And I said, no, did you use permethrin or anything like that on your clothes? No, I don't know what that is. And we were both, all of us were just like, here's ours. You know what I mean? Spray your stuff down, please, dude. You can't go out here because you know how it is. If you're walking through like an ag field, like beans or corn or something like that, you really don't have anything to worry about. But when you're going through a field of like a hay field or something like that, that's waist high, it's unavoidable.
Yeah, they're gonna be all over you.
But I mean, I had never seen anyone's skin have a reaction to ticks like that. You could have told me that he spilled acid on his leg or something. It was unbelievable.
I did that one time with chiggers, and me and Wade, when we had a place to hunt in Tennessee, we went up there one spring. I don't know what we was doing, just goofing off, I guess. And we got out in the pasture, and it was waist high and stuff like that. And I got eat ass up by chiggers, hundreds and hundreds of them. Like you talking about ankles like that? Well, it was from my ankles to my titties. It looked like I had been shot with rock salt a dozen times. Yeah. And I ended up having to go to the doctor and get steroid pack and antibiotic because I had so many that it was causing a problem of some nature. I'm not a doctor. I don't pretend to be. No. But that's the worst insect encounter as far as that kind I've ever had.
Yuck.
Yeah. I've had dozens of times with chiggers. Pretty bad.
Yeah.
As bad as you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we talk about when you had them all whipped here. I guess beltline or whatever. I've had them where the sun don't shine many times. Very bad, but I've never really. I might have had a bite or two, and didn't realize it was above my waistline with chiggers. But
I've heard this story more than once from multiple men that you'd never be more impressed with yourself. than when you get some chiggers on your thing, and all that swells up to your full skin size. Yeah, make you proud of yourself. Other than the itching,
it's not worth it.
No, not worth it.
Not
worth
one
it.
Yes, sir. They are. Golly, it's funny how that's just lucky somehow. Don't have something, which I'm pending right now. I'm waiting on labs to get back. I think I'm all right, but we just recently pulled some off of me.
He being a sissy, y'all.
Hopefully, but that reaction I had the other day was a little disturbing. But I think we're all right. But golly, I just hate those cotton picking things.
Yeah, I've not figured out their role in the ecosystem. Like if they just disappeared.
You hadn't heard? That's all possums eat, man.
Oh yeah.
Turkeys eat them.
I mean, if they were just wiped off the face of the earth, does it affect anything?
I don't know.
You got a little sister's comment. What did he say the other day? Ticks, spiders, rattlesnakes,
and sharks. And he doubled up on sharks.
Sharks. All sharks die.
I was just like, for somebody that don't go to the beach or get in the water, he sure is pissed off at sharks.
Yeah. Well, once upon a time he did, and he used to fish with me a lot in the ocean and on the boat. It'll instill a hate for him that you'll never get over. Ain't no doubt about it.
The tax man, baby.
The tax man's
you got to pay that tax.
That's right. I tried to explain that to my oldest. He's like, why do they call him the tax man? I'm like, because he gets a cut of whatever you catch. There's nothing you can do about it. But why, though? I'm like, because it's an easy meal, buddy. When they see a fish in distress, they're going to get it every time.
Because he's hungry.
Yeah. Which I've heard people say the same thing about dolphins, too. Like actual
dolphins.
They hate
porpoises.
Yes, there you go.
Terrible.
Oh, porpoise.
But
porpoise.
I will stand on and I will forever be, I think, my least favorite thing is barracudas.
I've not had any run-ins.
Golly, them things. They're worse. They're as bad. They're worse than sharks. I mean,
I've been
but they freak me out. They scare me. They're one of the reasons I won't get like serious about like like learning to dive and stuff. Like on no part of a barracuda.
Yeah, they see shiny stuff, they just eat it.
Yeah. I mean,
And his head got a shine to it.
Yeah, my whole life I've spent fishing at the coast, and Orange Beach. Gosh, I was at the pier a few weeks ago. Went down there and catching Spanish mackerel, pretty good. And I've seen tons of stuff, out there. And to my recollection, I've never seen a barracuda off the pier.
Yeah.
And I had probably a 4 or 5 pound a stud of a Spanish coming in, and got it right, to the point where I'm about to start getting it up, and about that time, right out from under the pier, I just see about a black missile nearly long as that couch, and it hits that thing, this ball of blood blows up, and I start screaming. I thought the Alabama saltwater guy was there, and I watched his stuff, and I started screaming because in my brain it was a 50-pound king mackerel. I was like, somebody throw down there's a big king just ate my Spanish. And by the time I got my rod that I had rigged up for kings and got back over there with a live bait to throw at it, 2 or 3 guys had threw down there, and they were like, I was like, what did y'all get broke off by? Like, what? They're like, no. They said that was a barracuda, and I was like, ain't no barracuda, no. And the more I thought about it back in my brain, I was like, that was a barracuda, because he just kind of came up there and shook his head real fast, and then it was over. But I was like, 'Cause, I mean, you get those random guys, especially when summer kicks in, teenagers, they get out there and they're like, well, I'm probably going to get a ticket or something, but they, 3 of them will jump in the water and, swim back to the beach and stuff. But don't do that.
No, I've been out before and bottom fishing and catch red snapper, and when they're not in season, and the deckhand out there is just like there's a dolphin following the boat, and he's like, this is the worst part of catching these fish and it not being snapper season. He's like, their bladder's inflated, they're not going down to the bottom, so he takes that little, flips them off back in the water, and here comes the dolphin. Boom! He just crushes them. He's like, man, that's what we do all day.
I mean, legally now, not to get off on that, but you're supposed to have a descending device and or a venting tool, which I always do, but let's just face it, if there's a bunch of porpoises around and you got a lethargic fish,
they don't have a chance.
They're not likely going to make it. And that's I'll leave a spot. I mean, if I pull up in the boat and sitting there fishing and a bunch of porpoises show up, it's as bad as sharks. Might as well just take off, try to go somewhere else and find somewhere they're not at. So, but anyway, yeah.
Well, what about your first deer?
My first ever deer.
Yeah.
Ever?
First deer story.
Okay. I think, if I remember right, I was 16. I think. And we had just played I can't remember. It's too far along now. But I know we had a basketball game that night. And so I played that night. And then the next morning we were going to go hunt. And so I remember Dad had a lease that was somewhere here in Marshall County. I still don't even know where it is. Like, I can't remember exactly where it was. I'd try to go lease it again. But real small piece of property, and we were the only ones that were going to get to hunt it and that kind of stuff. But I know it was late enough in the year that it was rifle season because I had the old 30-30, baby, Marlin. And so I'm in a climber. And if you can imagine, now, like looking back, like just knowing what I know now, like I can climb a tree so fast in a climber and just, not even really think about it, or in a saddle or whatever. But then I was still really green and, didn't really have my confidence going up down a tree yet. So I'm probably if I'm 12 feet off the ground, that's the highest that I'm possibly going to get. I'm probably closer to 10 feet. But we get up there in this little hardwood bottom, and I don't know what everyone else's experience is hunting in the state of Alabama. I realize that there are much larger and healthier deer populations elsewhere throughout the state than there are here.
Mm-hmm.
But up until that point, I can only count on one hand how many deer I've seen from the stand at that point. Like, I would go with my dad. He'd drag me to the woods. We're going to kill a deer today. Never would see a deer. You know what I mean? And I'm sure that I was probably loud and, not sitting still and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just like, Dad, we have been – how many times have we been sitting in the woods? Like, we never see deer. We're never going to – you know what I mean? And we're going to go hunt this morning, and I'm just not – I'm kind of zoned out. I'm like, nothing's going to happen the same way it never happens. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just kind of out of it. And anyways, he's in a climber about 20 yards behind me. And he's got, like you were talking about, the big VHS cam. He's got the video camera with him. And I just happen to hear something, and I look over, and there's 2 deer eating on briars. And there's just kind of a little I'm kind of hunting on, I guess, a saddle. And they're down here in this bottom, and they're coming up to me. And I just can't believe it. Like, I can't believe
Oh, my God, there's a deer.
I am in a tree with a weapon in my hand, and there's a deer. Like, I can't believe this is happening. And anyways, both deer come up. I have no idea what they are. I just know that they're deer. They come up, stop, and start munching on some more briars, and I shoot. And Dad gets the whole thing on camera or whatever. I felt good about the shot, but again, I'd never shot one, so I'm kind of expecting it just to go bloop.
Yeah.
Well, it don't. I shoot, and it runs, and I'm like, I really felt like, because it wasn't far. I'm going to say it's probably 50 yards, maybe. I shoot, and it runs about 35 or 40 yards, and I see it just do a flip. I'm like, I did hit it, and so anyway, that's the first deer story of mine.
So iron sights or optic on the
No, it had a scope. It had a scope.
The old side saddle scope.
Yep, a little
Tasco. Were you in the world class?
No, well,
or just a standard Tasco.
Yeah, that's right, just a standard Tasco.
Okay, so not rich kid.
No.
Okay.
Nope. Matter of fact, with Dad's. Dad has a Browning 270 bar, the semi-auto. That's what he's hunted with forever. Matter of fact, I think he bought it the same year I was born.
Yeah, probably smooth bore by now.
Yeah, probably. And if he was here, he'd tell the story. But he said, when I bought that gun, I bought it, and I was at a pawn shop, and he's like, it was all I could do to afford the gun. What I mean? I could not afford to buy some, real nice optic on it. And he said, look, I need a scope for this gun, but I don't have the money. Like, you're going to have to make me a deal or whatever. And he said, the guy behind the counter said, this is a good scope. It's cheap, but it's a good scope or whatever. And it's just a regular old Tasco, and probably 3x9 or 40, something like that. Yeah. And
it's all they had back then.
Yeah, kill more deer.
Threw it on there,
will.
And he had that same scope on that gun until I was probably 30 years old.
Oh, wow.
And finally, there was one day that he got it out and was going to use it, and for who knows why, a seal, something leaked, whatever, but there was condensation behind the glass.
Pretty common thing with those.
And so he had to had to replace it at that point, but anyway, back to the deer story. I was so like tore up and just so like,
Oh yeah.
Dad goes the classic like, hey, you've just killed your first deer. What are you gonna do now? And I'm like, I'm gonna go get it. Like, it's taking me to say like, I'm going to Disney World, or whatever. But I didn't get it. It was way over my head. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm gonna get the deer. So, and it was. We get down there to it, and it's spikes about like that, whatever.
Say, the old buck deer.
The old buck deer. So,
I got a good story about them right there.
So that was my first one, and then Many. I'll save y'all. We'll talk about that one at a later date when I finally killed one with a bow.
Well,
after
that's what
years.
I want Corey to tell his
Yes.
his first buck with a bow
Let's hear it.
on the fence
yeah.
fence line.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was
you probably do it way more
Okay,
elaborately than I do.
then
but
I'll do it.
We can both chime in, but yeah, what was I 15?
Yeah,
I
15 or
just-
16.
Yeah, I think I was driving. But yeah, I had a stand close to where I grew up, and you know, Dad was a pretty good deer hunter, and he would always, try to, put me in pretty decent places, but I never had confidence in him. I'll go ahead and put that out there.
There's a good reason.
Rest his
They
soul.
they were hunting non-existent deer.
They weren't.
Know the feeling.
They're deer, but they were pressured. They were hard to hunt. There weren't a lot of them. But anyway, so Marshall County, Alabama. I mean, back was this late '90s, or there's not a whole lot of deer to be had, and you either had really good places or you had a place, and it was like, well, there's deer there.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but that was kind of my spot, and the old fence line up through this pretty kind of a thick ridge that went up through there. And, I had shot and missed a doe, or I think something. I had never shot it a lot because I've always been so meticulous, and Daddy always said, "Son, I'll tell you one darn thing: if you don't shoot at them, you dang sure ain't gonna kill them." And I was like, "Well, that's a good point." So I shot him, but anyway, so I'm sitting in the stand, and Jeremy's hunting. I don't know,
A pretty good piece.
a quarter mile from me, and.
Close enough for the earshot. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Wasn't somebody, was Alan my cousin, or
I think Chad might have been down there with us.
maybe Chad, my best buddy growing up, Chad might have been there. But anyway, we're all hunting, and it's on, 9 o'clock. It was the opening day. It was early bow season.
It was early bow season,
It's just everything's still pretty green, and there was trails there. There were deer that came through. I just couldn't never seem to catch many of them, and so it's like nine something. We're in the old 2x4 ladder stand, with the platform, and
16 foot,
Yeah,
2x4s. So that's where your feet was.
Yeah, well,
16
we got
foot.
real fancy because I got into bow hunting a lot, and Dad and I, we went up there, and we made little 45s and a little platform. We'd screw them into the tree where you could set your butt on against, with your back against the tree and your feet on the platform. That way you can stand up and shoot with the bow. Well, I had sat there and I had a sun kissed under my, and I reached down, and I had done decided, bow set in the lap. That's where it stayed, like it's right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd done decided, well, I'm fixing to tie my bow up and let it down. I'm fixing to get down. I'm tired. It's getting hot. There ain't no deer. And I'm going through the motions, and I hadn't took my arrow off the nock yet. It was still there, but I think I had already tied my little rope to let my bow down, and I stood up, and I got me a drink of Sunkist real slow, and I'm looking around like, this is over with, and I set my Sunkist on the seat, and as I looked left, I noticed something move, and it was a deer. And I'm like, ho, 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 ho. There's a deer, and it turns its head, and I just see antlers. And I was like,
Oh, my God.
the whole tree starts shaking, and I'm like, all right, there's Buck. And that right there, they're really easy. He's got to come right up that ridge or turn around and kind of go back down the ridge. It's kind of a pinch point. Well, I'm back when you're that green, you're like, somehow I got to turn my body and get this knot undone. And I get the knot undone, and I just like drop the rope on the platform. And I'm like, just trying to hold it together. I'm like, I was like, Lord, just help me keep this together here. And I glance back over, and there's like 4 or 5 bucks. I mean, I just see racks, and I'm like, Jesus. and I was like, all right, what I'm gonna do? And, you know, I got some gaps right here, and it still leaves on. I got shooting lanes kind of, and I was like, whatever buck makes it to this shooting lane right here, I don't care which one it is. I was like, he's getting it. Okay, like that. I don't care if it's the biggest one or the smallest one. I don't care. And so I'm sitting here, and I'm not even moving my eyes. I'm just kind of like, oh my God, if you know, all reality, I could have probably been up there moving.
Right.
You know, finally I hear him walking, and I'm looking, and I just see deer moving and antlers out of my peripheral vision, and there's a big old mountain oak, and one walks behind it. And I just got lucky and didn't get picked out. When he walked behind it, I eased back, and he walked out from behind that tree. When he did, I put that pin. I had taught myself. I had written on my bow, that old PSC F1, it said, pick a spot, aim a touch low, squeeze, was my notes to myself. And I put it right on his heart and pulled that pin down and squeezed, and it ducked just a hair, and I just saw that arrow disappear right at the point of its elbow. Thwop, and it run, and Jeremy, you can tell the rest.
I can tell you the rest.
Because I just collapsed with my head in my hand. I was just like, oh.
He didn't collapse till after he said something.
Yeah.
And literally,
I knew it was done.
I
got
probably
him.
am a quarter mile from him. And look, to me, from my perspective, because I hunted with Uncle Corey down there a lot through the years. And you know how many deer I saw through all the years? One. I mean, to me, this place was a desert of deer, just like my house is. No deer. But apparently Uncle Corey got to see them. But anyway, you know, I can't hear the shot. It's a bow. But all I hear echoing through the woods is, I got that some bitch. I mean, that's just all I hear echoing. You know, so
I didn't even know what I was saying. But I mean, I just seen that arrow disappear. And back then I shot feathers on, I think we had just went to Carboneras. And they were like 2 chartreuse and a orange. I don't know. They're bright. And when I seen that arrow hit where it did, I knew that deer was dead. And but yeah, the sad part to it is I scream, I got that. It's not just like go down, and I'm like, whew, and I look, and there's like 4 bucks and like racked. Like wall hanger style, like nice deer, and they're just like standing there like, what the crap is going on around here? And I'm like, oh my God. And then they just all start, put their flags up and start just, walking off. And anyway, but yeah, got the old, what was it, like a 6 or 7 point or something like
6
that.
point, I think.
We did the whole, got down, went home, went to the store, ate breakfast, got something, woke Dad up. Dad was convinced I'd shot a possum. Told me, don't tell me this bull crap till I come back with a dead deer in the truck. And we went back and
get the deer
and tracked it, and it went a screaming 43 yards.
Staggering distance.
Yeah,
just right over there.
Back when I shot Vortex, that
big old.
Looked like you hit it with an axe.
Yeah, 2 3/4 inch cut. Yeah, it was looked like you went up through there with a fire hose with blood shooting it out everywhere.
So funny.
Man, my experience with bow hunting is so different.
I know. Yeah, you're the outlier.
Let's preface Jeremy's with, he grew up hunting where
there was deer.
Most people now, well, I don't know. We've discussed that, and I can't remember. But if that place is or whatever still the way it was,
it's developed. It's got houses on it now.
There's, if you got that in the right people's hands, there's not there's no amount of money that somebody wouldn't pay to hunt that.
Back in the day, for sure.
If it was like it still was, just the sheer amount of deer that were there, and that you could see every time you sat,
Mm-hmm.
and everything from that to this, and everything in between.
Well, I hunted a couple of years before killing my first deer with a gun, but not there. My dad grew up in Jackson County, Stevenson area, and they still had a family farm. And I'd tried to kill, didn't have anybody take me. Dad wasn't a hunter, so he'd take me up there and drop me off and at my uncle's, and I'd stay. And my older cousin hunted some, but he was already working, so he never had much time to spend. So just never was successful. And they'd only take me up there during like Thanksgiving or Christmas for a couple of days.
Right.
That was it. So for a couple of years, I got to hunt a couple of days. And then my dad worked with my father-in-law at Mueller Company, and he had a club up in Southern Tennessee, and so Dad paid for me to be in that club, and so I could ride up with my future father-in-law.
He didn't
Unbeknownst
know
to
at
me.
the time.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, foreshadowing. But got to start hunting up there. So the first time we ever went up there, we weren't a member of the club, but Mike was just taking me. And so Dad carried me up there, and it had snowed. And as we're driving up the long driveway in, I mean, there's 24 deer out in the field, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, there's deer. And I was 10 at that point. And so, obviously Mike sees all these deer, and we're going to go out and put a stand up for me to hunt in. Dad had bought me a climber, and Mike had taught me to climb. So I got all the necessary tools, and probably against better judgment, they were letting me use a climber at 10.
Nice.
Yeah.
But, we're going to take the stand and put it out so that I can get to it the next morning. And so Dad's got the climber on his back. Mike's leading me through the woods. And all of a sudden, there goes a bunch of deer. Well, Mike shoots a deer, and because I didn't really have a bead on him exactly, and he just grabs me and moves me, and he just points, shoot that deer. And I'm like, where? And then I see it. I'm like, oh, okay. Pow! So kill my first deer.
Wow.
Just walking into the woods. So nothing to it. But fast forward the next year, Dad paid to be in the club for me. And so he would either take me up there, we had a little camper there, or I'd ride with Mike. And anybody that knows my father-in-law, back then he hunted every weekend. I mean, that's Friday afternoon, he came home, he loaded, and we went hunting. And my brother-in-law didn't hunt much. He hunted some, but just didn't enjoy it as much as I did. But anyway, we go up there, and they're, even at 11, they're letting me pick where I want to go hunt. And so I've got Summit Tree Stand, and I say, okay, I want to go hunt on the corner. That's where I want to hunt. And there's a fence line that comes up, and it branches off and comes out on the edge of the pasture. So I wanted to sit on that fence line. So go out there, put my stand up, that Friday evening before season opens, and I go out there and get in it the next morning. And, I mean, soon as it's daylight, 6:30, whatever time it is, I'm already seeing deer. I'm like, oh, my gosh, this is just unbelievable. And within a few minutes of daylight, and I have a doe come up, and I pull the old string back on the Martin Cougar Magnum.
That's
and
go.
I think XX75 aluminum mirrors with the old Thunderhead on there.
That's right.
And I smoke a doe, unbeknownst to me, because get down and, you do what you did. I sat there and, they came to get me out of the woods because I just hunted till they wanted to come out. And told Mike I shot a doe, and so we get on the blood trail, and it's decent blood, but then it gets spotty, and that place is rocky as all get out. And we didn't find her, and so I'm frustrated. I'm like, I know I shot good because I tell them what happened and what I saw and all that, and good blood. But anyway, they don't worry about it and say, just go again. All right. So I go back out there that afternoon and sit in the same stand, Dougie. Well, I mean, hour before dark, here comes deer. So they come by, and I shoot another one. So, and I see that one fall.
Yeah.
So, I'm about to, just absolutely fall out the tree.
Mm-hmm.
So I climb down the best way I can, and I just sit on the rock, because I can't stand to be up in that tree not no more. And so I go and find that deer, just laying there. She's 50, 60 yards, from the tree at that point after she ran and fell over. And, heck, I'm an 11-year-old kid. I'm walking around up in there just looking at stuff, and I found my other deer.
God.
So
2 for 1.
Yeah, two sits, 2 deer with a bow.
At 10 years old.
11.
That's crazy.
But, from there, that a lot of people, they get after me about not shooting deer now. Mm-hmm. And that's why I shot so many deer as a kid, because it was just like every time you sat up there, you could kill a deer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I was a mid to late teenager, I was already through with the bloodlust and like, hey, I want to kill a good buck.
Yeah.
I don't care about shooting does. I don't care about shooting every buck I see. But now, look, if I went a while and didn't see one, I gonna kill a buck.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's spike 4.6, whatever.
Yeah.
I gonna kill him. But I shot a bushel basket full of spikes and 4 points and 6s up until I was probably 16 or so. And deer that's mounted at the house that Butch McKinney mounted was when I started wanting to kill better bucks, because like Cody was talking about with the bachelor groups, I had a bachelor group come out on me, and I shot not the smallest buck, but I shot one kind of in the middle of the pack, but and I didn't have ever an opportunity at the bigger bucks, but I saw them and I was like, okay, I want to kill that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The heck with all the rest of this. I want to kill that.
Right.
And so that started me out much younger than any of my other buddies that were hunting, that I really got on the fast track of trying to kill more mature bucks. Yeah, we had big deer or a few big deer up there, but we had a bunch of decent deer.
Yeah.
And so, hunting up there, I think the limit then was 2, and then throughout hunting up there, I think they changed it to 3. But I would kill my 2 or 3 bucks every year.
Yeah.
And that, not that any of them were big, but they would be decent bucks.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I had a far different experience when it comes to trying to kill deer with a bow.
He was spoiled, is what he's trying to say.
Spoiled, arse rotten.
Spoilt.
Yep.
With a T.
I mean, but the thing is
But then I would come
they were there
and hunt with Cody, and I'm like, man, this sucks.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is
Ain't
all
no deer.
Imagine
There ain't no deer.
when we got to hunt together, and imagine my experience from the other end of the spectrum. It's like,
Oh yeah, when he go with me,
you want to come up here hunting with me at least in Tennessee? I guess whatever. And I went up there. We told her the first time I ever went, I was 16 or something, and what was it, the opening of bow season?
It
I
was.
guess it was. And Jeremy's like, you're my friend, and you coming up here and where you hunt sucks, and you shoot first. You've killed some deer. You shoot first, and I'm like, no, I mean, you're nice enough to bring me up here, and we drew straws or something. Jeremy won, and of course I'm really into my stuff, and I'll never forget this. The night before, we just went through moving from aluminum to carbonaris.
Yep.
And we argued. We about fought. I was like, Jeremy,
he wanted me to shoot
I
his
want
broadhead.
you to shoot. You need to shoot and make sure that, because you were still shooting thunderheads, I believe.
I was. You wanted me to.
I want
you
I said, shoot this broadhead I've got. It will fly just like your field tip, or either shoot that thing with them carbon arrows, because I don't think it's going to fly the same. Yeah, they're going to fly the same. And they was close.
It was close.
But close
Didn't
only
count.
counts in hand grenades and horseshoes, folks.
Yeah.
Because the rest is history.
It's about 6 inches different.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, a fixed blade broadhead with a carbon arrow. I mean, it's got to be tuned to the hilt for it to fly just like a field tip. It always flies, for me, I think, is it low and right? It depends on what helical you got, if it's left or right. But it's going to hit low and to the right or left, generally. But anyway, the next morning, we went out there that night and hung stands, and we found scrape. And it's like, there's a scrape line and opening that wickets both seasons.
Yeah.
Hung on that, got set up. I'm going to film him shoot. And I've got a, video camera about the size of this love seat.
Yeah.
And
VHS tape, by the way, for
Yeah.
you young
and
pups.
God, we got to find that somewhere, because we do have a little bit of that footage before the battery didn't take charge. And the battery died as I'm filming these deer walk out when Jeremy shoots this deer. And, I mean, we're both deer biologists.
Now.
Right now, and I mean, I'm going back through. I've held 250, 200. As big a whitetail deer, natural whitetail deer as they make on this earth, all the way down to this. It's a big deer that Jeremy shot that day, but we got up in that tree that morning, and it ain't got good light yet, and Jeremy's like, I see a deer. And we've jacked up in the same tree, climbers, and I'm above him, and he's right below me, and he's aiming right at the bench. It's got this trail on it, and here comes deer, and it's like buck, and Jeremy's on the string, and he's like, and I'm like, hold on, there's a bigger, and he's getting on, it might have been like a 10-point or something, wasn't it? Like a nice.
The one I shot?
No, it was a nice 10.
Yeah,
and
was a
you
good
drew
10.
back. And he's
gonna
fixed,
shoot him.
And I said, ho, 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 ho. No, don't move. And you were like, oh, shit. And, I mean, out walks this deer, guys. It's like, at that point, the biggest deer, I mean, hands down, I'd ever seen in the woods.
Nothing close.
I mean, and, Fergie, I'm having trouble with the camera. I'm like, okay. I was like, I don't know if it's filming or not. Just shoot the deer, and the arrow flies, and it hits him about 30 yards. And at the moment, it looked. I mean, it was a little low, but it looked like he might have cut his heart out. I mean, good shot, but. Long story short,
it was not.
A low and left hit with a thunderhead in the brisket spells lifelong disaster.
Yeah.
Because we tracked that deer for a day and a half.
Yeah, we tracked that deer for several hundred yards and decided to come back. We hung our bows in the tree on the blood trail and was walking back to the camper and just not thinking anything about being anywhere near the deer. We left the blood trail hundreds of yards ago, and stepped up on a rock, and he was laying at the base of the rock, and he got up and stood about 25 yards from us, just turned back and looked at us, and out of our lives he ran.
Yeah, I'll never get, because I stepped up on a rock or something. I heard something. I looked, and a little doe kind of bounded up the hill, and I was like, something just don't feel right about this. It's still imprinted in my brain. He came out, like stuck his head out from behind that big boulder, and was from me to Jeremy.
Oh, he's right on.
And I was like, ah! and as he came out, I saw the hole where he'd been shot and the blood running down the back of his leg. And that was
so he just made a giant loop on you.
I think it was a 12-point. But I mean, it was wide.
Oh yeah,
it was tall. I mean, it was hands down 160 plus inch deer, and
it happens.
Yeah, that hurt. I think it hurt both of us.
Mm-hmm.
What did it? Everybody drove up.
Yeah,
we were trying to find that deer bad, but That was the first experience, and well, they got a lot better after that.
Oh yeah, yeah. We had better experiences after that. But we had some fun.
Mm-hmm.
We were up there. Eric Malden, one of my best friends. He was roommate in college. He passed away a few years ago from ALS, but he hunted up there with me quite a bit through the years, and he had gone up there with me, and we were hunting together. And I was going to try to video him kill a deer with his bow, and Mike was with us, and this was gun season, but we're trying to kill a deer with a bow for Eric. And we'd seen a few deer, but pretty early on in the morning, my father-in-law was well known to, when he starts shooting, he just shoots until he runs out of ammunition. And he's been known to take a full box with him. He had a BAR, and he would carry a full clip in the gun, and he'd take an extra one in his pouch. So it sounds like
It's like a popular thing to do in those days.
Yeah, it sounded like World War III. Goes off down at the edge of the pasture where he liked to hunt. And I tell Eric, I said, I can't take it. Let's go see what he shot. And so we're walking down through there, and we get, probably 100 yards from him up in the woods, and we can see him in the shooting house, and he's just looking. He finally, we're trying to get his attention. He finally sees us. This is before smartphones and texting and all that kind of stuff. And we get down there. What you shoot? And Mike just, he's excited.
What did I shoot?
That's the one thing that I loved about hunting with him, as growing up. Other than having to clean his deer for him, but that's what the kids was for,
Yep.
All you kids out there now.
Yeah. It didn't matter what he shot. He was excited. And I'm talking excited. And we walk up to the back of the shooting house, and it's it's a 4x4 shooting house with windows in it, made out of OSB, and got a half door. And he squats down. He looks. I shot a big, just a giant. He's got his hands up, and of course, love him to death. But that excitement, everything he shot's always a big deer.
Yeah.
And look, sometimes it was a big deer. Sometimes it wasn't. This happened to be one of those times that it wasn't.
It wasn't.
But he goes, man, they just kept coming, and I don't know how many times I hit him. I didn't want him to get away, and we're like. Apparently. We can tell. We heard all the shooting, and Eric's more excited than the rest of us about going to see it. Me and Mike. I'm helping Mike get out of the tree stand, and Eric's walking down the 2-track through the pasture, and I'm slowly following up after I get Mike out of the tree stand, and I'm in front of Mike, and Eric's on down in front of us, and I can see the butt of the deer laying in the edge of the 2-track. I was like, he's right there, so we're going to get to see this thing. Yeah. There ain't no guessing what this is. And I see Eric, and he's kind of like a turkey peeking over a log as he's walking down through there looking. And he walked up, and he just got right on top of the deer, and he looked, and he turned around, and I could tell by the look on his face it was good. And he goes, God dang. He said, you got damn good eyes if you shot a great big old buck. And he grabbed it by the ear, lifted his head up, and it had spikes about 6 inches long.
Gosh. That's pretty good.
Monster.
Oh, me.
That's funny.
And he did that to a buddy of mine, O'Brien, too. Byron went up there with him with Mike one time. I don't know. I couldn't go.
He shot a baby.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yep. Told Byron, man, I shot a great big one, and Byron's helping him blood trail it. But it was another one of those World War III episodes, trying to get the deer on the ground. And look, I tell people that's hunting, if you shoot, and you know it's the same deer and it's getting away. Shoot till it ain't moving.
Try to kill it if you especially wounded it.
But he's that was his MO. If it's still moving, keep shooting.
Yeah.
But he had shot a doe first, so doe's laying there dead in the road.
Yeah.
But he had shot at this buck that was pushing the doe around, and he just keeps telling Byron about how big it was, what he saw, yada yada yada. And Byron's trailing up this doe, and Cody kind of knows what I'm talking about. But they go all the way back across the gravel road, cross the wood line below the campers, and get up past the campers on the next hill. And Byron said, I was going through there and rounded the corner around the big treetop, and he said, there's just a deer looking at me. And he's like, I looked closer, and he said, it's a little old spike, but it's bleeding. And he's like, he turned around and got Mike's attention. He's like, is that what you shot? Get up here. Is that? No, I shot a great big buck. And he's like, well, that deer's bleeding.
Evidence shows that you shot that one.
But Byron got him around the treetop, and Mike shot and finished the deer off. And there where he was hunting, it was actually pretty good poke for what he was shooting. But coming through the cedars, and he said the bucks kind of changed up order on him, and he just, as soon as it came out, he shot.
Pop.
Yep, and
that happens, honestly.
Oh, it happened
up there a lot.
Oh, it happened to me up there.
Yeah,
I was shooting at what I thought was it was a good deer, and they were going through cedars, and I just let them change order one time, and I mean dropped him like a sack of taters, and I was pumped and get over there, and I shot the big old cow horn spike that had been behind the buck originally. I was like, and immediately knew what I did.
Yeah.
But look,
Corey
it just happens.
was more excited than he was on this big old monster he killed, and we got up there, and I was like, no. No.
It happens.
But I did the same thing in Skyline in similar type country one year, and a bunch of bucks came off the side of the mountain on me, and it was just, dang, there's a nice buck. And people may have ever hunted in that part kind of the country and the rocks. You can hear the deer coming off the mountain
For a mile.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, if that's a nice buck, there's more coming. I can see them for a while. I'm going to see what all else is coming. Mm-hmm. And I had 2 or 3 one real nice buck, and I was still watching it. And here come this deer. Right, it sounded like about the last deer, and I mean, big-bodied son of a gun. And it was staying kind of slow moving up through there. And I swore I seen a rack on it, and I was like, that's old hammer time right there. That's the big dude. Well, I squeezed off a shot. Didn't think nothing else about it. All the other deer ran off. I was like, I got a good one. Got a good one. Got down, trailed it up, and I think it was a 152-pound doe.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, good one.
I'm talking about her head was that long. I mean, it was, and when she died, she fell with her head over a rock. So I was just seeing that body, and I was like, it's all relative when you're in the moment. And I was like, that's a big body deer. I was like, what's he got on his head? Mm-hmm. And I got up there, and I was like, ears? Where's? There ain't nothing here. And I was like, what? Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, that was bad, but yeah, I let a 130-inch deer walk off and shot a doe. But
old Uncle Corey can attest to that place in Tennessee back then was eat up with turkeys too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I dug the picture up here a while back of Uncle Corey's first turkey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember where that made it to the Facebook or made it somewhere, but yeah,
this was a place
when we first started going up there. It wasn't.
Oh, it was stupid with turkeys.
I mean,
and we're just figuring it out.
15, 20 gobblers just like standing out in the pasture. Like I'm talking about like,
I tell you how bad it was. I carried him up there because I wasn't much of a turkey hunter then. Cody's the one that got me into turkey hunting up there. I was like, look, we'll go turkey hunting, but I want to build some deer feeders. So we turkey hunted in the first morning, didn't pan out, and well, we just kind of give up during the middle of the day. It got hot. We was gonna build deer feeders on the side of a tree. And I had cut some 55-gallon drums, and just the bottoms out of them and cut kind of a U out of them. And we were screwing them to a tree and then building a little roof over it on the tree. And every time you'd hit a nail to drive it through that tin, up on the mountain.
yeah.
So
there was turkeys.
the next day we got after them, and Uncle Corey made it happen.
Yeah.
Of course, it's
made it happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's not that difficult when you sit under about 30 birds.
Yeah,
in the dark.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean God, it's such a shame that places like that, or that place in particular, is maybe gone forever. God, what an amazing place that was. I mean, yeah, I mean we literally. What was the thing? We heard them gobbling in that draw. Like we knew up in the mountain where most of them were roosted, and we knew how the mountain road went up through there, how to get close to where they'd be.
Yep.
Sit down in the dark, and we had done watched 3 or 4 gobblers that had started gobbling, pitched out, and were like strutting, but farther away from us before the one I actually killed started gobbling in the tree
That we were sitting against.
Yes. And
we sat under them.
Under them.
Yeah.
under many of them.
Without meaning to.
Yeah. And, oh, boy.
Target-rich environment.
It was.
Yeah. He called a little bit, and he just and this, I mean, I've seen it out of the corner of my eye.
How them little
flutter down.
Them little maple seeds fall like that right there.
Yeah.
And so that's what he looked like.
Yeah. And
Just right on top of
turkeys just falling out of trees, and when we're like, what we gonna do? I was like, and I'm like, oh, this is like goblin blowing side of my face off. And I like start moving a little bit because I can see it, and he'd strut and behind a tree, and I'd move a little bit, and then he'd look and he'd gobble, and Jeremy's like, I was like, I'm fixing to kill this son of a gun. And Jeremy's like, can you see it? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, kill it. And I finally got it around, and we had a decoy in the road like 15 yards in front of us, and we're by this big oak tree, and like it's pretty much got us covered. Like he can't really see us, but he's seen that decoy. And by the time I finally get turned around, and he's like looking at me, but he can't tell what my gun barrel is. And I like left-handed, I got like the bead on his head. He's screaming 8 yards, and boom, and I remember I was dancing in a mud puddle, going, just screaming and hollering. And I mean, there's still turkeys gobbling everywhere. But yeah, it was an experience that I'll never forget, and still to this day, don't really know if there's any way to know if I actually killed that turkey in Alabama or Tennessee.
Oh yeah, just right on the line.
That would have been Tennessee, by just a little bit.
I think I don't never
You
think
shot
I checked it in and
shot it in Tennessee,
but
and it landed in
I was sitting
Alabama.
in Alabama maybe when I shot it, so I don't.
It is real. The line was just right there.
Yeah, literally. So, but
He was probably in Tennessee, and you blew him into Alabama.
yeah, I think I was in Alabama. I'd have been in Tennessee and shot him in Alabama. I don't know, but yeah, well, that was a long minute ago, but a lot of fun though.
Yeah,
A lot of fun.
No,
But I will say all that.
years ago.
I killed my first turkey there. I killed quite a few deer.
Dang, nearly 30 years ago.
Yeah, quite a few deer through the years and seen.
What was your favorite hunting spot up there? What was it by?
My favorite hunting spot,
Where you always hunted.
where I always hunted, was by the mud hole up on the mountain.
What else was on the post or on the cedar limb, cedar tree?
Wait a minute. I'm supposed to know this.
Yeah, you are. I hung it.
Oh, the can.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I hung a Pepsi can.
Yeah, Pepsi can. That's
on
right.
a cedar.
I'm going
there.
up to the can.
That was a place we called Pepsi can.
Yeah, the best spot me up there was hunting by that mud hole up on the mountain.
Oh,
they
ain't
come
no
down,
doubt.
they're gonna stop and get a drink. It was spring. It wasn't just a mud hole, but I called it the mud hole. But out of all the people that I know that ever went up there with you, still, when we talk about it, I think I'm the only person that never even shot at an antlered deer.
I don't think so.
Never even pulled the trigger. I seen piles.
Our buddy Chad, his best friend growing up, I carried him up there, and he hunted right there behind the barn. I mean, first time he sat in the tree, shot a pretty dang good 8. Just,
Yeah.
Everybody
Everybody had a chance at a buck or shot one. I was snake bit on antlers. I didn't care. I just to see it. There's something about sitting in a stand and just knowing you're gonna see 15 to 35 deer before you get down.
Yeah.
Ain't never been there.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't never been to a place like that.
My
with
buddy,
the exception of Texas.
Yeah.
My buddy Byron, I mean, this was later on. I was working for Sotera when he was up there hunting with me. So this was 2009, 10, somewhere along there. We had the place up until I think it was 2011. I think it's when it was sold.
Yeah.
When the owner died and his niece sold it. But there's some folks that recognize this. I was sitting down in the pasture, and you could see across the valley back into Alabama to Hell Mountain Hunting Club. Used to be a 4-wheeler riding place too.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw a buck come out of the woods over there. At that point I didn't know what it was, but I just know it was, looking through binoculars, looking across, I just could see deer.
Mm-hmm.
And through the morning, they were working their way across the valley to me. And I watched, the does split off and go up kind of toward our campers. Well, that buck, it just keeps working its way across. And at this point, I had gotten into shooting. And I had a little 308 built, and I felt comfortable shooting at pretty good distance. Mm-hmm. But this deer ended up crossing the field 650 yards from me, and at that point I wasn't confident to take that shot. Now he'd be a dead deer.
That's a poke.
Yeah,
I mean that's a
especially with a 308 out of a tree stand.
That's a long shot.
It's a poke. But I watched this deer coming, and so I text Byron. I was like, "There's a good buck coming. I don't know if he's going to come by you, but he's headed your direction. Mm-hmm. You'll see him." And man, time goes on. I'm texting him. His radio silence, and finally, and you hear the bullet hit, and I was like, "Oh my God, he got him!"
Yeah.
And so I sat there. Still radio side, a lot like Cody and Kyle. By gosh, the minute that there's a trigger pulled, it is radio silence. Piss on you. I don't care what you want to know. We're not telling you jack. Finally he texted me back, and he had spine shocked this deer, and so he hit him high, and he just dropped. And Byron said he sat there a minute, kept the gun on him, looked dead. And he said, as he was sitting in a ladder stand, he said as he started getting out of the stand, going down the ladder, he looked up, and the buck got up and went up through the woods running. And we found hair and speck or two of blood, but inevitably he shocked that spine, dropped him, and deer got back to his senses.
It is still,
and off he went.
It's still just unbelievable to me that a deer can just can just eat a shot like that and
Yeah.
get up and walk away from it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a gun. We're talking about center fire, like whatever. That's probably what he's shooting, a 308 or
270.
He was shooting a 270.
a 270. I mean, my gosh.
We called it playing laser tag. and we've all played laser tag a time or two.
Yeah,
Gosh, man.
The thing with deer is, it don't know what has happened. And that, they have the most will to survive about as any
it's
animal
crazy.
I've ever seen. And they're just like, okay, well, I'm still functioning, but they don't have in the back of their brain of, well, I could die from this or whatever. They're just, I can still go. Let me just keep going.
My shoulder hurts.
Yeah. And they get up in the woods and they're like, well, I feel okay. Well, I probably should go back to eating again.
I mean, especially like, I know that you've seen it in the Midwest and stuff, but like, I mean,
They back to chasing those.
Yes, like there'll be Dad's told me stories of one of his hunters shooting one like a front facing shot, and he said we saw it the next day in the middle of a cut cornfield with this much arrow hanging out of its chest, running it over around.
Oh yeah,
It's
I've seen
how in the world.
I've seen them shot in the shoulder, and it looks like a dadgum sideways car antenna shaking off as they're chasing stuff, through the woods. But
I think they couldn't tote that off.
yeah,
man,
I killed one in Tennessee years ago that somebody had shot with a bow parallel to the spine. Oof. And I killed the deer, and we were cleaning it, and it's like, what is that in the tenderloin? And sliced it out, and it was 20 inches of a arrow with the tip, or the tail end broke off, no fletchings, with a broadhead, just laying perfectly parallel to the spine. They had gristled up, and it was from the year before. Mm-hmm. Just gristled all the way up around it, just fine.
And you say there was a little skull over that shot it right by the butthole.
No, it came up by the butt. And my father-in-law, this was, before I had learned anything about deer anatomy much, other than reading magazines and stuff. I was a teenager, but he shot one, through the hindquarters, hit the femoral artery.
Bled out.
But he shot one with a muzzleloader with a sabot one time, and it didn't go anywhere from where he shot, just a few yards. Mm-hmm. And I got down there, and I was looking at it, and there was, I didn't realize he'd shot it through the hindquarters first. And I grabbed it and was looking, and finally I saw where it had the holes, but it shot through both hindquarters, and it blew his sack off. And I was like, my gosh, if you shot my nuts off, I'd die too.
I would beg for death. For real. I'd have to go run off a cliff or something.
Yeah.
Might as well be dead.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, and that place was special. There ain't no doubt about that. Ain't no doubt. But talking about hunting stories.
And it's amazing what'll save their life. The biggest deer still yet I've ever killed, I killed with Uncle Corey in Texas, and people can give me a hard time or not. I don't give a rip. It's got its tags in, still in its ears.
Oh yeah.
What was that program called? Was it Triple T or whatever it was?
Trap something transfer, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, basically catch a big native deer, catch them with a helicopter, and move them to a different location.
Stayed in Texas.
Yeah.
Native deer. So.
Yeah, native deer. You just essentially take them, enhance the genetics of the herd that you're managing, and it was one of the original bucks that we had trapped and moved for genetic purposes. Good reason. It was a 200-inch plus native South Texas deer that we identified and caught and moved to the ranch that I managed, and we just let them breed. Basically, if it had tags, it was a good deal, because you were going to be there until you were just died of old age, pretty much. And some of them made it to the point where they were so old we decided to start taking some of them out, because we were getting returns off of their offspring, and I was blessed to work for some good people and had a really good boss, and he was just like, do what you want to do. I don't care, You can take some of his deer out, and I didn't care. I mean, I got to shoot what I wanted to, and I decided to give that one to old Dean, my old good buddy.
But I go out there and kill a phenomenal deer, and we're doing something on the ranch. I think it was the next day, and we're going down the road, and he stops, and he gets out, and he walks up to this dadgum, what's those trees called? Good Lord, mesquite. And he points at a limb. He said, "You see that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "That's why you getting to shoot that deer." Yeah, one of the somebody else had shot at that deer the week prior and had hit that little limb, and it was still hanging on. Yeah. But that's what saved that deer.
Well,
I
always try to take care of my old buddy, but yeah, I do remember that. And I think about it now, we had kind of went on we need to kill some deer.
Spree.
Yep.
Spree.
Look, that's never a call that I'm gonna regret taking. Is, hey, we need somebody to come out here and kill some bucks.
I'm your huckleberry.
Yeah,
load your stuff up and come on.
And that's kind of the way it was out there with me. Mr. Rod. I always be one of my heroes. Good, as good a fella as you ever meet, and he was just like, I don't really care. He's like, but don't want just anybody. He's like, but a deer like that, he's like, feel free if you want to kill it. He's like, don't, just I want it killed. I want it done ethically, and
sure.
And I know you'll appreciate it. And I was like, well, I've got somebody else that would, or other people. And he's like, I don't care what you do, as long as you're overseeing it, whatever. It's somebody you want to. He's like, that's your business. You the boss on that deal. And I was like, all right. So, yeah, I gave away some really well, and now I'm blessed to have been able to do that, because it's deer that otherwise probably never would have. I've got to kill deer that I never imagined I'd get to kill, and they were native, wild deer. They weren't breeder deer. So
it's a cool experience sitting in and sticking your head out the window and looking straight down, and there being 200-inch whitetail native deer just standing there eating corn is like impressive.
Yep. Nope, that's wild.
Yep. Management works.
That it does.
In different settings, applied different ways, you get different results.
Well, we're at, I don't know, like an hour and a half now. So
God, went by too fast.
Story time.
Story time, Matt. It goes fast.
Story time with Southern Youth.
We didn't even get in.
Oh no, we'll do this maybe once a quarter.
I say we may have to do a part 2 follow up for this, because
we didn't get into any real good ones, any good funny ones.
Right, I got some good ones too, but. Well, guys, listen, that'll wrap this one up. If you enjoyed this episode, if you want us to do this more often, whatever, just leave us a comment. Let us know. If not, we'll kind of go back to what we've been doing. We always have said that.
Maybe I'll wear pants next time.
Yeah, for real. Maybe, actually, yeah.
His little boy britches
give us
over
there. Yeah. If we get 100 likes on this video, then Cody will wear pants. Please.
It's turned into summertime, y'all. Give me a break.
Yeah, it's hot and it's humid. My gosh.
It's nasty.
But, leave us a comment if you like this kind of stuff, or if you want us to go back kind of doing what we've been doing. We'll do that. It's not going to be a hunting podcast, but we can share stories from time to time. All right, guys. Well, like, share, subscribe, all the things. We'll see you on the next one.